What's going on, guys? Welcome to 2025. It's race season's right around the corner for us. We race at the end of the month. It's like 7th, 8th, January 5th. Most of y'all see this after this, but we got a race season right around the corner for us. We're going to be going to Volusia. If things all go well there, we will go to Hendry County and run with USCS and Top Gun. They got a co-sanctioned race for 10,000 win down there. Ken Kenny's doing a lot to put on a bunch of big races for us. Schedules are actually kind of huge, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. For the first time in, man, a long time, we got a lot of races that we could potentially hit down here. So I'm going to kind of go over it. Don't judge me by my purple tablet here, but I'm going to look at the photos that are here and just put them here. So we can talk about it. We can zoom into some things that I'm looking at, but we're going to go ahead and just pop up all the racetracks that are racing around the southeast, and go ahead and explain the colors to you. So yellow is going to be USCS with Pete and them. Blue is going to be Top Gun. Green is going to be the Hurricane Area Super Sprints, and black is going to be the Southeastern Sprint Car Series. It's so USCS is kind of like an ASCS, plus they got a couple other rules that they allow. Hurricane Area Super Sprints is an ASCS sanctioned series. Top Gun is not ASCS sanctioned, but they have the ASCS rulebook. And then POWRi has basically, if you have an ASCS motor plus a couple of oddball things, I believe, similar to what Pete does, you're able to run everybody. Southeastern Sprint Car Series, one of the biggest differences with them is they are going to allow fuel drum. They're going to allow American racers to be ran on any corner that you want. They have specific ones that you can run, or you can run the same Hoosier races that we run everywhere that we go. So the tires are pretty compatible with each other, but the American race is a little bit cheaper. But you know, if you run with them a bunch, it's going to be worth getting them. But at the same time, for us, you know, we're running with a bunch of different series that don't allow them. So if we start using the American racers, like the car might like something that tire is doing for us, and we might find something in the setup that makes us fast for them. But then when we go back racing on Hoosier, you know, might not act or react the same. So then we might struggle when we get off of it. So I don't know what we're gonna do yet. We'll see. But last year, this map will look very similar. I'm gonna find a photo and we'll put them side by side. One of the things that I noticed that I'm pretty excited about is Golden Isles on the schedule, Swainsboro's on the schedule, and those are two new tracks that I've never. I went to Golden Isle back in 2012, but those are two tracks that'll be on the schedule that weren't there this past season. I did have to add a nail into here, and for West Alabama Speedway, I didn't have them even marked on here last year, so it was pretty cool to add a track on here. I don't know how old the place is. And then sounds like there's a rumblings that there might be a new track coming in southern Georgia, but I don't know where, what it's called. I just know a couple details that, you know, I just heard word of mouth. I'm not going to bring all that up. What we did lose is East Bay. Last year was the last time that East Bay was run, so they have fallen off the map. I put a little rest in peace 2024 on there. I kind of need to do that some of the other tracks, so we could highlight that in another video of the tracks that are closing. You know, down here in the South, like I've said before, there's just too much for people to do, and that's why our crowds struggle. You'll see there's still a lot of red around here. I mean, it's red 20 minutes from my house that I don't get to race at. It's because it's a business, and tracks need to make money. And some of these tracks haven't figured out how to bring in extra dollars to bring in a premier sprint car class like the Wing 360s that we run. It is definitely a traveling series. It's not going to be your local, hey, let's go race for $250, $500 kind of series. It's you know, it's $2,000 to win, $200, $250 to start at minimum, and that's a big purse for some tracks. And if they can't bring in a bunch of fans or they don't feel comfortable with it, they're not going to bring them. But at the same time, if you schedule us right, man, and pay the right amount of money, we could generate a lot of fans to come in. I mean, last summer in Lake City and Needmore, it was the middle of summer, it was hot, and it was packed. If you watch our videos in the past, when we travel out of town, Buckshot, the Carolinas, Talladega, I mean, we bring the fans. So we just got to figure out what we got to do to bring the fans down here in Florida. I don't know if it's because the tracks don't race every single weekend, so people kind of get away from going to the racetrack. And when they kind of get away from going to the racetrack, it's not something they have to do, and they can go back another time. And if you bring us in there too many times, maybe it's not special. I don't know, but some of the tracks feel that they have to make the money through the back gate, which is going to be, all of our admission cost or anything like that. They're going to run a bunch of classes the same time that we're there, because those classes will bring a bunch of people with them or into the stands, and they pay very little for those classes to run because they're just local, so it helps cover our purse when we're there. They haven't quite figured out how to, whether it's advertising the races. There's the track that's 20 minutes away from me. Man, I didn't even know they raced last night, honestly. I'm sure it was broadcasted out there, but it's something I just don't really pay attention to. They don't support us, so I don't really follow any of that stuff, so it kind of just gets lost in translation, and it could be that way with the sprint car fans as a whole. If these tracks only race once a month, and then 6 of those months they get rained out, they just don't know they're even racing, so they're not paying attention to them, so that when a race actually shows up, if the track's not doing a good enough job promoting it, and they don't follow drivers to be able to see the races, you might not even know what's going on. And that's another thing. Drivers, if you're paying attention to this, you're watching this, man, you need to update your social medias. You need to show your races. If a series or a track or anything like that is putting out schedules, if you're getting ready to go to their upcoming race or anything like that, man, it's free to share this information, right? So if they post that stuff and you plan on racing them, or you want to support them, or you're trying to do anything with them, just, man, click share. Follow all your buddies, help them generate some stuff, comment on each other's stuff, post newer pictures. Tyler Porter, I'm going to come straight to you, man. I had to go find a photo of him, and had to actually ask him, because the photo that was on his social media was old, and he had to give me one, but then he didn't even have me one that wasn't a proof. So guys, support the photographers, buy you some digital photos of the car, get you some really cool action shots to be able to post with, your stuff, and saying like, hey, we're racing here this coming weekend, we're racing here this coming weekend, or give people bigger lookouts. You're going to let everybody know what your tentative schedule is for the year, but as you're coming into a month, like, hey man, we're going to go race at these 3 tracks this month, catch up to us. Give people a little bit of heads up so they can plan out on coming to watch you if they want to support you. And always mention your sponsors or anything like that. I'm standing here for a reason, right? Big sponsor for me. My car owner is awesome, and he is the reason why I get to do this. So, drivers, do better on promoting yourself, and you never know what you'll find. You might find somebody that wants to help you out and helps you push you along, get you to the next step, like I have. But let's get back to the racing schedule. Man, I think we got like 45 races that we can go to. Lake City, North Florida, Volusia, and Hendry County. You got 4 tracks, and we'll go ahead and call Milton. That's way up there in Panhandle. Might as well call that another state for us. But Milton's also on the schedule for some stuff. Needmore's right up on the other side of Georgia. Golden Isle, it's the same way. All these tracks are within 3.5 hours of me. Thank you guys so much for jumping on the schedule, and I hope we get to race there more. It'd be pretty awesome. But as we look at the schedule, you're going to see right now, I've only found dates for Top Gun for 2 tracks. Looks like Volusia and Hendry County is going to be the biggest part of their scale. Hopefully we can make that change a little bit. I don't know what it's going to take, but if you want to help make it happen, contact me. I still want to promote my race at Alltech later on this year and potentially turn it into a 2-day show. It would be great if I could have it at one track on Friday night and then at Alltech on Saturday for the main show to help draw down some more cars, hopefully make it a month sooner, so many people don't have their cars tore down and we can make this happen. But we got a ton of races going on here, man. Looks like Buckshot fell off of USCS's schedule, and they're going to be on the Southeastern Sprint Car Series. USCS and Haas are both racing at Deep South. USCS is at Swainsboro. I've never been there. Can't wait to go at the end of the season. Can't wait to go back to Golden Isle. I've been there since 2012. Needmore was had a great facility and crowd last year. They need to do a little bit better with track prep. It was blown off pretty slick in practice, and it actually put on a pretty good heat race and dash. They tried, but the track was already so hard packed that we couldn't do too much. And then we can't build a lot of grip into our cars, kind of like the late models and stuff that travel around there. So we had guys dipping the left front to the infield, which wasn't watered, and man, it was like a sandstorm was coming through there. I felt bad for some of the fans, man. I seen them at the end of the night when we were loading up the merchandise, and they were orange. So hopefully we can do a little bit better there, put on a good show. It hurt tires, but it was also in June, so that's a big thing. Is we need tracks to kind of take care of us and make sure that they're giving us a good racing surface, but also save us a bunch of money, man. If we can go through a weekend on a set of tires instead of burning up, at Needmore, I burned up almost 3 sets, man. That track killed tires. Same thing with Dixie last year. It murdered tires and made it to work. I didn't want to go back. I don't know if I am yet. We weren't allowed to sell merchandise there, and then it kind of killed our tires. So I don't know how I feel about traveling there this year. We got plenty of options to race to, and that's good and bad. It's going to make us to where we don't support certain shows, and it's going to lower the car count. And then cars, series might be racing on top of each other, and we choose one instead of the other because it's a little bit closer for us, and it's going to make the other one struggle. The flip side of that, glass is half full. We're starting to get enough races to where we can do that, right? To where we don't feel like we have to go. And we have more races. And if we have more races and this trend keeps going, and we got these series that keep attacking, and trying to make us go, I think we're going to start seeing some other people start building sprint cars. I think instead of late models and modifieds, you might see people start to build sprint cars and follow along with us instead of that, and help build the car count in the southeastern region, which would be very beneficial to all series. So if you're on the fence and you're debating on getting a sprint car or not, you should. If you're on the fence, you're already tired of getting beat and banged into with late models, right? And you're tired of fixing your stuff. So just go ahead and knock the fenders off these things and get to where we race. We race a little bit cleaner. It's a lot faster, I'll tell you that. We're faster than super late models. And it's going to cost pretty much the same as what the top-notch late models are running. Our motors are about 30 to 50,000, 65 for brand new, everything you can get, the best. Everything else, our chassis are a lot cheaper than a late model, and a lot of stuff that we bolt on is cheaper than a late model. But other than that, it wouldn't be too bad. But you can definitely destroy one of these faster than you can a late model. But we're going to dig back into here. You can see from compared to last year, if you go over, Haas is kind of in Mississippi. They kind of dip into Alabama with Deep South, but that's about all they got. Pete is kind of the dominant series with USCS in the Southeast. Man, they're in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I mean, they're all over. They're the premier series down here. I'm hoping that with them being the premier series, that maybe they can get their purses up a little bit more, and make it to where the other ones are a little bit more regional, and they can work off of each other to make it to where, if you traveled 8 hours away, it was worth it. Looks like we still got a lot of red in Georgia. We still got a lot of red in South Carolina. But it potentially could get better. But I think with what I got this year, it's going to be pretty great. Like I said, there's like 45, 46 races that we're looking at. And now we go back we flip the coin over and we look at budget. Budget's big. Russ actually typed something up. He's got some notes on here, but for a 35 race season, we're looking at, for fuel and generator for the RV about $83.50, the race hauler about the same thing. Generator costs for running generators for freaking 2 days, $1,500. Hauling the merch trailer around another $7,600. Going to, let's say, food, restaurants, a little over $3,000 to feed the crew. store food, a little over $5,700 for all our crock pot meals and hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff that we make when we hit the road. All the pit passes are going to cost us like $6,600 this year. You know, that's about 5 people going with us. You got so we typically take Mom and Josh, and then it's going to be me. We got 2 crew guys most of the time. Then you got Ashley. You got 1 to 3 kids, and maybe even a person to do our videos for us to help keep this stuff going on. Man, we can have 5 at minimum going with us, up to 10. So I mean, pit passes really eat us up. They're all about $35 to $45 a pop. Methanol is going to cost us a little over $8,000 for the year. Oil and filters and all that stuff is going to cost us about $4,000 for the rear end lube, oil, filters, brake clean, you know, just all that stuff on what it's going to take to maintain this car is another $8,000 for that many races. Rear tires, I mean, tire sponsor, come talk to me. If we pulled on a brand new set of rears every single night, it's gonna put us over $28,000. It's crazy. Front tires, if the tracks hurt us and make us give us some rubber up tracks that are very abrasive, that also corresponds to the front end. If the tracks are pretty decent and fast, we don't get a lot of wear on the front tires, but if they get abrasive on the rear tires, it's at on the front. So I mean, our tire bill for the whole year could be over $32,000, and that's humongous, you know. So when we're asking for help, man, every little bit helps. You might not think it does, but I swear it does. Getting all new bars and shocks and all that other stuff's about another $8,000. You know, we need to keep our stuff fresh. We're going to have to get a new rear end and stuff as we get the season going, new bars, bumpers. I mean, it's crazy. Front wings, you know, if we're lucky, we get to go through a whole season with them. I haven't been that lucky yet in the last 3 years. We've had some rough ones, but top wings, I mean, just this top wing alone, right? This top wing is going to be about $950 for just one if we get it shipped to us. I think I got them for $850 2 years ago, but I shipped 3 of them to the house. Titan wings, had them pre-built, just like you've seen it here. Had 3 wings come, they were $850 a piece, and then it was $500 for crate. I think the front wings were $125 a piece, so I had like 3 or 4 of those come, 3 top wings come, and you know, we just got the ones dressed. Vinyl on this thing is, you know, $3,500 to wrap this whole car. Scott does great work, but you know, vinyl's vinyl. We got to keep it pretty and keep it all dressed up. So you know, a wing is $850, but then you're gonna throw $1,000 worth of a wrap on there, and if you didn't wrap it, you'd be powder coating it and kind of doing the same thing. So it's a lot. When we flip these things, it's expensive. I should have done a video from East Bay. Who knows, we might, after you know what it costs to get this car back rolling, to get us to Alltech, which you know we ended up winning, so it was great. Engines, it's about $12,500 to freshen this thing up. That's actually not a bad price. We're going to get about 22 to 26 shows out of it, and that's just refresh, man. Last year we had 24 shows on a motor and ended up having a head gasket leak a little bit and hydraulic the motor and blow it up. It's annoying, and that's going to cost us a lot more because I mean, just to crank inside these things for $10,000, so it's crazy, man. These numbers are big, right? That's why you need your supporters, man. All these little guys need a lot of help. You know, if it wasn't without Sirocco, Crossroads Interlocking, Brick Paving, Countryside Arabian Farm, Rhino Roofing, all of our supporters that are on top, man, this would be impossible. I would not be able to do this with all these people helping me. And then we're gonna go to the car, right? The car is about $6,500, just spare chassis, motor plates, some Nerf bars. This is what we got. Right behind the camera is our old Top Gun car, and then I got the really old Top Gun car out under a canopy that we kind of need to get this thing gone. But you know, just the chassis itself is $6,500, man. We're gonna need to get another one coming because it only takes one bad night to put you out for a couple months. So we wanna get better prepared with having all these races available to us. That we have a car sitting here ready to go. We would like to get another motor, and that would put us in, you know, that $35,000 to $45,000 range on being able to get us another motor here. Right now we have 2 the one that we heard in Sonoy, it's about back together. This one's got one night on it since it's been freshened up, and we would like to get it to where we have a car race ready sitting right here on the floor where this camera's sitting, and then we have a spare bullet in the trailer so that if we're out of town racing and we heard a motor, at least we can race that following night. But I mean, we start totaling these numbers up for the generator, fuel, to the filters, to getting all that down. That's $145,000. Man, Russ, I don't like you typing all this stuff and making me look at it, because, man, this stuff makes it where you don't want to race, man. It costs that much to go racing, but if you don't finish in the top, if you don't win the race, you really don't cover your cost. So it sucks to look at these numbers, and man, it makes you really appreciate the people that you have around you, and keeps us pushing to grow this channel to maybe one day it could help us race too. And then on top of that, the extra racing motor and the chassis that we'd really like to get this year is going to be another $60,000. It's a lot. So if you got a business that's got a tax write-off on it, need some advertising, like we got a ton of space up in here. Just call us. We got a ton of space up here. You can't see it right now, but I tell you, anything that's on top of this wing, prime real estate for this fans. And Russ will even sell his location a move for the right price. So, man, we're looking for fuel sponsors. We're looking for wing sponsors. We're looking for just anything we can. We call it sponsors, but we really don't want it to be just sponsors, right? We want you to feel like you get something out of it, more than just a tax write-off. We want to bring you in. We want you to come to the racetrack. We want you to see what we're doing. I want you to follow along with everything that we're trying to do. I mean, the only thing I know how to do is just be honest, explain my situation, and just show that I care about sprint car racing. And when we go to the tracks, if I have the right amount of help and the pace of the show gives it to where I have some time, man, I love going out and meeting with the kids. I mean, even after we blew up at Sonoy, we didn't have Russ there that weekend. I had to help Mom pack everything up, and you're just out there, just sign some autographs, man. Drivers, do better, man. Build your following, get out there, get you some cheap 4x6s with a picture of your race car on it, and hand it to some kids, man. You're gonna make their night. You're gonna get a fan for the rest of your life, and you're gonna get people that keep coming back to the racetrack, because without you fans, man, we cannot do this. The reason why tracks aren't coming to us is because our purse is too big for what they know how to make money with, right? They have to have the track sponsorship. They have to have all of their expenses and taxes and employees and food and everything covered, and then know they have to pay us because we're coming to town. So we need you fans there. When you see us racing locally, man, come support, please. Bring your family out, come enjoy it. I promise you have a great time, man. We go fast, and man, when it goes bad fast. That's what a lot of people like to see. I don't, man. It hurts. It hurts the pocketbook, the lower back, sometimes even the noggin, man. It takes a little bit to get it all right. So, man, whatever you guys can do, if you made it this far, we need to, go ahead and comment where you might race, where you might see us this year, what you're excited for, and check out this map, man, and see if you can come support us and support sprint car racing in the Southeast when we get near you. Thank you.